I grew up in Bozeman, Montana. Before wealth saturated the town, it was blue collar. My dad worked installing car audio systems at a shop called Avatel. My mom worked as a waitress. I was one of four children. My dad died 16 days before my sixth birthday. My mom decided the only way she could earn a living to raise her kids was by returning to college and working multiple jobs. My older brother helped raise the rest of us. I was aware that our family was different and saw the way neighbors chipped in to help because we were poor. I was happy, but if you told me as a child I was privileged, I would have laughed. I made it through school with good grades and good friends. Both of my brothers struggled harder, battling addiction and the residual demons of grief. My mom did everything she could to be both parents. I tried to take up little emotional or financial space in the family. In high school, I was devoted to my senior year doing orphan relief work in Africa. I began building my own future outside Montana, a far world away. I started college at Montana State right after high school. I traveled the globe to the cheapest destinations I could find. When I was 21, I decided to study abroad in the Dominican Republic. From my globetrotting, I became aware of how many different people live on one planet. But I had never stayed in one place long enough to understand the role color played in my life. When I arrived in Santo Domingo, I met up with the 14 other study abroad students from the United States. For the first time in my educational career, I was the minority. I was one of 4 white students in my study abroad group. I didn't think hard about our different colors and made friends quickly with 3 black girls from New York. We called ourselves the Fruz Four, after the yogurt shop we frequented daily called Yogan Fruz. Because we were all strangers in a new place, we did almost everything together. Not only were we in class together, we hung out together at the corner bodegas to dance, drink rum, and laugh ourselves silly. On the weekends, we traveled all over the Dominican Republic. It was one of the best times of my life, and one of the biggest learning curves in my life. Everywhere we went, I was the ambassador of whiteness, privilege, and open doors. Without any effort, I got an internship at the largest TV station in the Dominican Republic, despite being grossly underqualified for the position. My friends ended up working in chaotic daycare centers or schools far from where we lived. When we could go out as a group, I would be ushered easily into clubs and bars, but the red divider rope would go up after me. Suddenly, the clubs were at capacity when my black friends tried to get in. At school, the wealthiest students were white. They looked much like me, pale skin, dark hair. I was a status symbol without fully comprehending why. Invitations came from classmates for swanky trips to secluded beaches, free tickets to baseball games, cocktails on rooftop apartments. They came to me when I brought along my friends, and there was obvious disapproval. White is preferred was the message over and over and over. For the first time in my life, I felt rich, not because I had money or came from money, but because I was white. In a country with severe race issues, I was somehow right. I saw over and over again how people accommodate a white woman and discount a black woman. I saw pain and resilience in my friends' eyes. I saw how hard they had to work to be accepted in the Dominican culture. I saw how my friends stayed out of the sun while I flocked to it. They didn't want to turn a darker shade of black, they said. It was a message they learned long ago, the darker the worse. We talked a lot about life in the Bronx and Queens versus life in Montana. My friends couldn't fathom a place with no diversity. They asked what would happen if they came to Montana. Are people racist? I said no, people are kind in Montana. They are certainly curious, but overtly racist, I don't think so. Similarly, I couldn't fathom a place with no white people, but the entire crowded neighborhoods. We spent half a year together, the 4 of us. When we returned home, I was cognizant for the first time about what diversity brought to my life. It brought so much joy, but so much painful understanding. I went to New York at least once a year to see my friends. I was blown away by the immense housing projects they lived in. I was once again an anomaly, a white person in an African American neighborhood. I grew up poor. I grew up with a single parent, and despite the odds, I realized at 21 I have inherent privilege. The world favors the white. It was one of the starkest realizations of my life. It shaped the career I had directly after college and the master's degree I am earning now.